Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truth channel. How's everybody doing this evening? Well, tonight's live stream is going to be continuing my, I guess we call civics class on understanding the Constitution and if we have time, the Bill of Rights. Anyway, that's what we'll be discussing tonight. Yeah, this morning I woke up kind of frustrated. I did a live stream and you guys got to see the real me that's had enough. Okay, this defeatist attitude that a lot of people on our side have, thinking we can't do nothing about this. We can't change things. We don't have the right or the authority or the moral high ground to do anything about this, right? Well, I'm sick of that. I'm sick of doing a video doing the Pledge of Allegiance to a flag, and it getting ridiculed. We live in America. How can me being loyal, showing my loyalty to the flag and the country and my fellow American, be a derogatory thing? Okay? People say that country is gone. By whose standards? And like I say, we're going to get into the Constitution. If the country that the Constitution created is gone, that means the government that the Constitution created is also dissolved. That's just the way it is. And the government, even though it exists physically, doesn't have no authority or power. Okay? So you people that want to go down that road, that our country doesn't exist no more, well then fine. Neither does the Constitution. The Constitution does exist. But anyway, they don't have the authority. Let's get into the Constitution. Because that was this morning's tirade. Absolute tirade I did. You might, if you like something that's worse than Alex Jones, go watch my live stream from this morning. Okay? That's what happens when a Marine gets really upset. Turns into that drill instructor that on Full Metal Jacket. But anyway, let's talk about the Constitution. Doing show prep, it would be an 8-hour video on just the Constitution. The Constitution is a document besides the Bill of Rights that created the directions on how to create the government, how the government was to function, the rules of the government. Everything from election to dealing with foreign countries to taxes to, one thing about the Constitution that hasn't happened in quite a while. Get this. Every once in a while, Congress is supposed to release all information on how they spent public funds. Okay? Hello, Mr. White. Hello, happy Wednesday. Yeah, they're supposed to, every once in a while, give to the public full exclusion or full information on how they spent all public funds. When do you think that's the last time that happened? All right? They're losing money left and right. They don't even know where it's at. But Americans are supposed to know every once in a while, legitimately, how all the money is spent. But how many politicians do you think would have a job in the next election if they found out? How many politicians would be flat out prison? Like I say, printing all this money out of nothing is counterfeiting. It's just the Federal Reserve or the government, the Treasury Department, counterfeiting their money. It's not worth anything. It wasn't made by some, it's counterfeiting. Okay, if I make the perfect $100 bill in my basement and it can pass, it's still counterfeiting. They can make the perfect bill that looks like a $100 bill, but it's worthless. It's counterfeiting. And maybe we wouldn't be $38 trillion plus in debt if they would have had to sit there and release all information on public expenditures, down to when they used to spend $200 on a toilet seat. Every department had to break down. And I don't know, what would you have? Some government magazine or some public issued magazine that, came out and showed all the expenditures of the government? But that's what they're supposed to do. Anybody seen that since they've been alive? They probably had it up to before the Federal Reserve. Probably up until that point. Up until 1913, they were probably doing so. I guess maybe I should do some research on that. When is the last time the public was publicly notified, given information on how public funds were spent? But it's probably Teddy Roosevelt. You love Trump? No, I'm not. I don't like either party, okay? I'll tell you, I voted for Trump, but he's been a disappointment. Okay, and he's going to come out and say there's no E-list. I want to protect our children. And then he wants to get amnesty to foreign illegal agricultural workers because Americans don't want to pick tomatoes. Well, I work in agriculture, and I got to compete with the illegals, and I'm about had it with it, okay? Just like and subscribe. Well, thank you. Yeah, let's get into that. Hey, if you want to support the channel, please hit the thumbs up and like and subscribe and the bell notification. Help this channel grow because there's a lot to talk about, okay? I appreciate this channel ain't going to sell anything. I'm not into that. I want to get the word out. I want to sit there and get this country fixed. Bring all Americans together, no matter what your political affiliation is or what you do in your goddamn bedroom, and realize that we're all on this sinking ship together and we need to do something about it. And if you watch some of my shorts, yeah, they may be a little extreme. But you know what? The Founding Fathers were some extreme sons of bitches now, weren't they? Let's get back to the Constitution. Okay, so they don't sit there and inform us on how money's supposed to be spent, and they're supposed to do that periodically. And then in the Constitution, and they changed this law, the election laws, but senators, maybe a lot of you don't know this, but senators used to not be elected in the general election like they are now. They were elected by, like Minnesota or Nebraska, where I'm at. Nebraska legislature would get together and elect 2 senators to send to Washington. That means the states had control of the Senate, not the federal government. The actual states had control. So the senator definitely had to vote in their state's favor. But see, that took away power from the federal government and gave power to the states. The federal government had the House of Representatives. The states had the Senate. Well, guess what? Now the federal government's got the House of Representatives and the Senate. Yep. So senators now have to, instead of bowing down to the people, and I'll say it that way, making sure they keep the governor happy, their state legislature happy, and their state voters happy, all they got to do is worry about going to the right parties and keeping the right people in Washington, D.C. happy. See? Took power away from the states. I can't believe they changed this shit. This was allowed. Just another thing, like I say, this Constitution, I could have an 8-hour long, how they're breaking it. It's so simple. These guys have college educations, okay? And they're just breaking the rules left. And one thing about, they said about when chambers are in session, no chamber can take more than a 3-day recess unless the other chamber agrees, and then they got to stay in the D.C. area. So you tell me the Speaker of the House can call a 6-week recess and then head over to Israel? See, they don't even obey the Constitution anymore. And then they talk about no politician can accept a title or anything else from royalty. But basically going over there and slobbing on the Israeli knobs that kind of falls into that too. Where the hell's their loyalty? But the thing about this recess, I remember hearing that the Senate said it was okay for the House of Representatives to take 6 weeks off. But according to the Constitution, as I understand it, that's what the Senate has to do. He's just not allowed to do it. Then they run from town because they don't want to do a vote on the E list. This is beyond crazy. Like I say, the video, the live stream I did this morning about the defeat of Trump 2028. Sorry, I don't think so. According to a constitutional republic, according to the rules of the Constitution, and it goes into depth about who can be voted in, all this shit. He can't run again. That's just the way it is. And if you guys want him to run for a third term, then his opponent's going to be Barack Obama. Because they would love nothing better than the two powerhouses to be at each other and see who could actually win. And frankly, Donald Trump don't stand a chance against Barack Obama. I don't like Barack Obama. Like I say, I'm a constitutional conservative. I don't like either one of the damn parties because neither one are following the Constitution. Hey, Strictly Cycling, how you doing? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me repeatedly, shame on Mega. It's any politician. But I gotta say, out of the Democrats' mouth comes some crazy ass shit. But they're not lying to you when they tell you that, okay? They're not lying to you. They're gonna, well, except for the college tuition forgiveness, that didn't exactly go too good. But I mean, when the Democrats say they're gonna do something to us, they're not lying. But yeah, I just can't believe Mega can cover. It doesn't matter. Like the short I made. I don't care if Trump walks on water. If he's going to take this stance with this list and not protect the children of the world, he's a pawn of the devil. Flat out, I don't know how to tell you. You can do a million things right, but this one thing, that is the story of the century, and he's not, or the millennial maybe, and he's not going to do nothing about it. I can't give a free pass on that. And then, like I say, all this other stuff, and then calling the National Guard out because he's going to get rid of the crime in Washington, D.C. and the homeless people, right? Why didn't he do that in 2017, call the National Guard in to drain the swamp? I mean, he can call the National Guard in to sit there and take care of the guy selling a bag of weed on the corner, but he can't sit there and call the National Guard in to basically put all the politicians under, take our country, to help against our country back. He's not going to arrest the real criminals in D.C. I mean, you got the National Guard in D.C. now. Trump, drain the swamp. Now drain the swamp. Anyway, Mega, maybe you should get on Trump. Hey, you got the National Guard in D.C. Drain the swamp. Arrest somebody. Hey, J99, how's it going? Hey, J99, did you see my my live stream from this morning? Oh, I tell you what, this defeatist damn attitude people have. Watch my live stream from this morning. It was basically 50 minutes of a drill instructor in a frickin' squad bay. First day. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to see the side of me that's not going to hide behind somebody? Match that. Somebody made a comment. This guy would be hiding behind me. Fuck. People don't know me very well. But anyway, check that video out. It did good this morning. Got me subscribers. And, like I say, I'm not afraid to speak my mind anymore. This is bullshit. Declaration of Independence says it all. And like you said, J99, it's our right. And you being a vet just like me, our duty to throw off this government And you being a vet trained, me being a vet trained, we're the well-regulated militia of this country. Need I say more? Need I say more? But anyway, yeah, before I get into this, hey, if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up, like and subscribe, and hit the bell notification. Help the channel grow. Okay, it's been doing good the last few days. Like I say, I got a lot on my mind as just a Marine that's finally pissed off. And I'm ready to go into Alex Jones mode all the way if I have to. At least maybe if somebody only watches it for 30 seconds, they'll remember the 30 seconds that they watched to me. It's not going to be something they're going to forget. They'll remember it. I like getting in people's heads, especially when it comes about freedom. And hey, buddy, you're a slave. Don't you see that? And hey, you're spending all your time chasing a worthless dollar bill. You know, according to the Constitution, fiat currency is not constitutional. You know, all money is to be made in gold and silver. Anyway, I'm a soldier in the Army. That is not from watching. I hope everyone is watching and taking notes. Oh, no. Crazy ass Marine. I don't mind being called that. You know why? Because that's the people that make sure your country is safe. You could go about your life. Like I say, if you got the enemy coming down your street and you got a foxhole in your yard, who do you want in that foxhole? This crazy ass jarhead that understands the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, my oath to the Constitution, the American people, who's willing to do whatever it takes to defend it? Man, I'm not joking about this no more. This has gone way beyond crazy. Like I say, you people in these big cities that are sanctuary cities, mayors that are against Trump and all this stuff, and he's already said this DC and LA is just a template on how they're going to do stuff, and then they're going to get busy and start going to other cities. They're going to find out what government tyranny is all about. Maybe you'll stop fighting amongst yourselves then, and when you're all in fear of the AMRAMs coming down your street and stuff, maybe neighbors that never talked to each other in years will start talking to each other. Anyway, I like MacArthur turned the Middle East into a sea. Yeah, well, you know, MacArthur I think had a God issue, okay? You know, he was the only 5-star general, wasn't he, that we ever had? He had a God issue, all right? But with the Korea thing, maybe if we would have took his advice instead of Truman firing his ass, maybe the Korean War would have been won, and we wouldn't be dealing with North Korea like we are now. Boy, what a concept, huh? Solving a problem. But don't worry. We finally are going to win a war. We haven't won a war for 80 years, but we're finally going to win a war. The Ukraine-Russia war, Trump's finally going to make the United States the winner of that war. Craziest goddamn world we ever lived in. Anyway, but the Constitution, like I said, I could go into it for hours and hours and how they're breaking it. You don't need to go to law school for 12 years to understand the Constitution. All you got to do is be able to comprehend, be able to think on your own, and sit down and listen to it a few times. And I tell you what, listening to you when you're younger and listening to it these days is a totally different experience. Because you're like, holy shit, they used to follow the rules. Now it's just however they can interpret stuff, okay? Strictly cycling, under Trump's immigration policy, Jesus was in America right now being that he was in the Middle Eastern man, he'd be well, see, the thing is, Jesus was a populist, okay? So they had to get rid of him. Anybody, just like my channel, right? They shut me up because they don't want people coming here and saying, you know what? I don't agree with everything this guy says, but this guy seems to care about my future, not only his. Okay? They don't want Democrats and Republicans getting along like we did 50 years ago. They don't want that shit. At all. And they're going to do everything to prevent it. So if Jesus came right, all I know is Jesus has his work cut out for him. Because the population of the planet, when he was on the planet, was 50 to 100 million people. Now we have 8.5 billion. So he's going to need a lot of help from us too, okay? He ain't going to be able to do it all on his own. Jesus is amazing. I know he is. Like I say, that's why the head rabbis didn't like him. That's why he had to go. Okay? But, you know, my friend got saved a couple weeks ago. Well, that's good. You know, the thing is, why don't people who like doing bad things like religion? Because religion is a moral thing. It gives you a guilty conscience if you do bad stuff. It makes you realize that you have some higher power to answer to for your retarded shit down here. That's one reason why when you get older, you start doing nicer things. Because you want to put a few more gold stars on your card before you got to go sit there face to face with the man. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I think is important to do is stand up for children that are being put into vans and hauled away to God knows where. No list indeed. I can't, I didn't let my kids lie to me. I was never allowed to lie. I got called on every time I did it when I was a kid. I always had to hear the truth, speak the truth, and I'm not going to listen to a politician who what he ran on isn't happening. Like I say, hey, the Constitution says we have a right to see how public funds have been spent. I think it's time the American people demand that. See, if we demand that out of them, it'll uncover everything else. If they got to show how every penny was spent, everything will come out. Because what do when you say you need to figure out a crime? Follow the money trail, right? If any American out there thinks that we don't have the moral high ground to invoke the Declaration of Independence and do what's required by my duty, this is the thing. In the Declaration of Independence, when it says that, duty, me being a Marine, and the Founding Fathers writing that, to me, that is an order to me from the Founding Fathers. Flat out. From the Founding Fathers. Over all the time, that is an order from the Founding Fathers. And that supersedes any goddamn order from any moron in our administration or this country right now. Okay? So it's my duty, especially as a Marine, to do my part to throw off this government and install new guards for our future security. I don't want to be it. I just want to do my part to make sure that we have real men that aren't criminals, okay? Goddamn terrorists. In the Constitution it talks about, or the Bill of Rights, that we shall have no national religion. And nobody should be excluded from office because of their religion. Okay? So I guess Omar and whatever, AOC, they're covered. But when they're acting as, and they're not allowed to be arrested. While they're serving, they're not allowed to be arrested unless of treason, felony. They can be arrested for a felony, or creating chaos. Trying to, like the Congress people that were helped going with these mobs to these ICE facilities. They should have been arrested immediately and kicked out of Congress. But a parking violation or a misdemeanor, no, they're protected. But that's just while they're serving. And then they still can be charged with crimes afterward. Anyway, Epstein covered them. I tell you what, this Epstein stuff, like I say, in the Declaration of Independence, it talked about how men or people will sit up there and put up with this shit and put up with it because they don't want to, I'm paraphrasing all that, but they don't want to mess up their lives, and they'll just hope that things will get better, right? Things will get better, that they'll listen to them and they'll start changing. Well, when they came up with the Declaration of Independence, they realized that everything they had done before then didn't work. So this was them saying, hey, we know things aren't going to get better. It's going to just continue on until you guys reach your objective, which is till your long train of abuses and you get your objective, which is to take over the Americas and rob them blind. Okay? But, oh, my dogs. They're having such a good time. Are you a mega guy? I'm not. I don't follow a party. I'm a constitutional conservative. I was apolitical when I was in the Marine Corps, and I don't follow parties because they're corrupt. You tell me what party is helping the American citizen by taking money out of his wallet and spending it on wars that we don't have. What politicians? Neither one are following the Constitution. They don't. Our politicians don't even know what form of government we have. They all say democracy when they're running for office. I'm not ever voting for the lesser of two evils again. The first politician that comes out and starts talking about a constitutional republic and the word democracy never comes out of his mouth, I may consider voting for that guy. But until then, I'm not going to feed the frickin' monster with my vote. Okay? Not after getting kicked in the gut this goddamn way. If workers united, we could change too much. If workers united, we could change too much. If Americans, not even Americans, like you say, you got 25% mega conservatives following Trump, no matter what he does, it's great. You got your 25% liberal Democrats that no matter what they do is great. And then you got the 50% of us in the middle that are Democrat, Republican, and, whatever. We're in the middle. But we're the majority. We are ruled by the minority. Obama bin Laden. Remember after they got bin Laden and the news was reporting it? Remember all the mix-ups those poor reporters were having, mixing up the name and stuff? God, you couldn't make a montage out of that. It was kind of funny. Okay, but anyway, it's crazy. Well, make America great again. Release the list. Until that list is released, until all the illegals are kicked out, until the FBI is dissolved, until the Department of Education is dissolved, until the IRS is dissolved, Trump ain't doing shit, he said. Okay? So, sorry, I'm holding Trump accountable just like I held Biden accountable because I don't follow a banner. I'm a constitutional conservative. I believe in the Constitution. Okay? The Constitution that does this thing. It handcuffs the government. Tells it what it can and can't do. Then you got the Bill of Rights that basically sits there and tells the American citizen, you have control of this government. The government can't do squat to you. It's got to treat you with respect. Strict message restrict. Oh, Google's in here. Oh my God, Strictly Cycling. They're restricting my moderator's comments. I tell you what, Google, Strictly Cycling, Google does not like you. They restrict a lot of your statements. Damn it. Hey, Google, that's my moderator. Pay attention, Trump supporters. At the minimum, your dear leader, Trump's protecting the names on the pedophiles on the Epstein. Yeah, see, this is why they're deleting your comment. And this is crazy. We now live in a country where the liberal Democrat social media platforms are covering and protecting Trump. Wings of the same bird, everybody. Wings of the same bird. Anyway. But, the thing is, we need to enforce the Constitution. If we could bring the Constitution back to the way it was originally written, 4 secretaries, Department of Agriculture, Department of State, Department of War, Department of Treasury, and the Attorney General. Wouldn't it be nice, you semi-drivers, to get the government out of your frickin' semi? Wouldn't it be nice, farmers? Well, I don't know about the farmers because they sure do get a lot of free money from the government, but maybe some of them are against it. Wouldn't you love to have the government out of your tractor and be able to run your business free? Security, the whole thing is a shit show. Hi, security. Hey, appreciate it. Hey, I'm getting my moderators in. Like I tell you, my moderators, you have to watch my live stream from this morning. If you want to see something worse than Alex Jones, by far, for almost an hour, but I was pissed this morning. Like I say, the defeatist attitude we have. Our founding fathers established the greatest country that became the mightiest country this world has ever seen because men were free. The government was restricted from enslaving the population. Men were allowed to live free, and that was the government's responsibility. Ultimately to make sure make sure to secure the money supply, the borders and stuff, so people could live a prosperous, happy life without having to be invaded or their bank accounts going to zero overnight because all of a sudden their money became worthless. Anyway, just to go back to that. No interfere, no Health and Human Services Department. Yeah, that's right, people. Independence and freedom is a two-edged sword. Okay, the only one you got to fall back on is you. That's why you got freedom to fall back on yourself. The government don't have to provide you with things that you need to be free with. That's not the taxpayer's job. But we live in a society of entitlements where, all this falls upon the taxpayer to make sure they pay it. And then you still get ridiculed and, like I say, people that have good paying jobs, that's good. I couldn't deal with it. You got punished for having money, and I got sick and tired of spending all that time in my life to give it to the frickin' government. I refuse to do that. My time's more important than having a six-figure income. And no. Nope. What? So I can have a really nice funeral? So my kids can sit there and fight over what I had? So I can die with the guy with the most money on the street? Yeah, that's my goal. If elected, Trump promises to end the war in Ukraine in less than 24 hours, therefore, before Inauguration Day, and he did do that, work out your Trump supporters. Yeah, well, you know what? The war would have ended back in 2022 in 1 week if we would have supported the goddamn war. The United States kept this war going, and Europe. And this is one thing you people, Russia can't beat NATO and Europe and the United States. They're already taking all of us on at the same goddamn time. They're already learning our weapon systems. You know, war is a learning experience too for both sides. And right now, the one getting all the experience and the knowledge are the Russians. And they haven't even needed to try to even catch their second breath yet. Everybody's, oh, the Russians are finished. The Russians are finished. Study World War II and tell me the Russians are even close to even getting started. Oh my God, they got 100,000 troops on the border. You know, when it gets up to the millions on each side, then I'll get worried. Okay? Right now we're dealing with nothing. Okay? The Battle of the Bulge was bigger when Germany was at its last lengths, and it was still able to have 2.5 times more troops than that. Some people that don't study history just don't understand that, oh my God, this is so big and huge. Not to put it down, but no, people, they're just getting started. So anyway. But yeah, the government needs to start following the Constitution to the letter. You know, Thomas Jefferson said that the Constitution can only stand with a moral people. We got a dilemma there, don't we? Because if this list is all what that don't exist is all what it's supposed to be, you know, obviously the people running the show aren't very moral, so the Constitution can't stand. Our founding fathers were smart. But the main reason they were so smart on how they created the government is because they just dealt with bullshit from the British. I mean, how young was Benjamin Franklin? He was in his teenage years when he started writing stuff against the British Empire and the tyranny that was being created. What, did he write that stuff for 40 years? He had to endure it for 40 years? You know, before what he thought was going to happen came finally. You know, when men fight for their own freedom, I don't want to say you celebrate war, but you find it necessary. You know, eventually when you start pushing somebody around or a group of people around too much, they're going to get pissed and fight back. Okay? Security feed. I keep getting to top messages, not all messages. Constitutional Republic. America doesn't have a president right now. We have authoritarians who to be a full dictator. He's supposed to be yeah. I don't know what's in store. All I know is the actions he's taken, if you look through history, don't start looking real good. Like I say, when tyrants start that path of being a complete tyrant, What's the thing that stops them? They don't stop themselves, people. They don't stop themselves. Never have and never will. Only death or the people stop them. And maybe sometimes the people cause the death. Crazy world we live in. Just because we're all got all this technology and stuff, don't think we ain't gonna suffer the same faults as ancient civilizations faced. We're just gonna probably hit us harder. Especially all these people that are connected to automation and can't take care of themselves. So connected to the system that, I mean, their groceries are delivered every day because they don't have enough food in their refrigerator. Do you think the lack of interest within the community on black and black violence is what makes it so prevalent? Black on black violence. I'm sick of violence, period. Okay, I don't understand why two guys talking in the street have to lead to people shooting at each other. You know, but the thing is, violence is happening. We need to fix the root problem. We need men to stay in family unit, okay? The statistics are there. Ones that get in trouble and the ones that don't get in trouble. It's the same in white families. It's no different. This is what I'm saying. People feel the same. Tell me what emotion a black man feels that I don't feel. Give me one. What emotion that I don't feel that a black man don't feel? Give me one. I don't see color. I see a human being. And I like Martin Luther King. I'll judge them on the content of their character. Flat out. Because I've met a lot of bad people from all races. It didn't matter what their skin color, their race, or what country they were from. Evil's evil, people. Okay? And if you choose to limit your horizons by, oh, that's a different color person than me. Oh, he's got to be bad. Well, then I can't lower myself to your intelligence. I'm sorry. Okay? I've never had a problem working on a job site with anybody that was different color than me or nationality. You know why? We all got along. We all worked our asses off, and it was a great time. And race just didn't seem to matter. But look on the news and stuff, that seems to be the only thing that matters. I guess I haven't seen those parts of the country yet. Hope I never do. Hope I never go to the country where the people are all so stupid, they're divided by what color they are. Hey, there's a Star Trek episode like that, the original Star Trek. You should watch it. About two aliens. One's black, one's white. One's white, and one's black. Gene Roddenberry had an awesome way of tackling problems, you might say. If you choose to hate me because I dislike Donald Trump, you're the one with the problem. Who are you talking to, Strictly Cycling? Yeah, see, this is the thing. See, Strictly Cycling, and I remember times when we had elections and nobody hated each other or burned cities down or killed their families because of an election. Wow, imagine that. No violence after an election day. Remember after Trump got elected this time? I mean, that guy in Minnesota that killed himself and his whole family? That lady that worked for, in Washington State, worked for SpaceX? Jeff Bezos killed her father? All these women that divorced their husbands because they voted for Trump? We can't have Thanksgiving dinner together because you like Trump? God, when did that shit start? But whatever, that's the world we live in. And, the best thing about it is all our politicians, I think, deserve the Nobel Peace Prize because they're all doing so great. Can we all just get along? Exactly. Exactly. Because, like I say, when problems get really bad, when shit really starts hitting the fan, and people, like I say, we're all on the Titanic, and the band stopped playing, and everybody's looking at each other and say, hey, we're all fucked. It doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. It doesn't matter what your color is, or your gender, or your race. We're all fucked. And people just feeding into it. Feeding into it. Anyway, tomorrow I'm going to do the Bill of Rights because that's just like the Constitution. I can't do this in an hour or even 2 hours. I mean, I would have to sit there and go through and read part of it, and then we'll discuss that part, and then read. I would love to do it, but I don't think anybody's up for an 8-hour live stream. Security, I just unhid you from the channel. I hope you've been well. Keep your chin up, kid. Yeah, guys, let's get along, okay? How's it going, J99? Like I say, don't act like I did this morning. I had to get some things off my chest. I want to make sure that the people that are in charge heard me loud and clear. I sent the message out like John Hancock signing his signature on the Declaration of Independence. Okay? Oh, yeah. And I hope they heard me. Now, I'm not going to fear my government. Yeah. Like I say, I'm doing a lot better today. But when you've had enough, okay. Mod me 177M3. Who are you? Make me mod. I don't know who you are. I have to watch. I tell you what. I got to watch your comments. Let my moderators check your comments and stuff because these are people that I've known for a while. I only got a few moderators. Not that I will make you one, but I got, moderators are people I got to know a little bit. So anyway, other moderators will check out what you write down, what you post and stuff, and or they can sit there and tell me no if they've been watching. See, I don't watch the chat much. It just, if I was on my computer, I probably would more, but I'm on my phone, I don't. Just say no. Well, I don't have to say no. I'm not saying no. I just saying I don't know you. Okay? Can I get to know you first? Like Strictly Cycling. Him and I didn't start out on the same foot at all, did we? Remember that live stream, Strictly Cycling? We were talking about Snow White, for crying out loud. Tell me your political rants are a hit. Congrats on your success. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I know. I tell you what, they've been my channel's taken off. And I'm happy for this success, but the reason is because the word's getting out. The word's getting spread. It's getting harder to shut me up. Success? What would be success for this channel? Hidden Truths. Success for this channel would be us getting our country back. And then this channel can go away. Once the mission for this channel is gone, this channel can go away. It don't need to stick around no more because it'll be replaced with my comedy show so I can make people laugh. But like I say, it's to get the word out there, people. My thoughts of the day. But yeah, this morning was a rant. Anybody who has a defeatist attitude and you become a slave, don't blame nobody but yourself. And obviously they don't listen to what we say. They don't care how we vote. It doesn't matter how we vote. It's either this criminal or that criminal. Okay? We're kind of getting back to a corner where we're going to have to fight our way out of it. Come on, people. Smash that thumbs up, Tom's subscriber, and hit that. Thank you for that. Yeah. Help this channel grow. Because like I say, I'm not afraid. A lot of people, I wish everybody would start a YouTube channel. Everybody. And show your face. 200 million videos in 1 week to DC saying, knock this shit off. We want the list. And people arrested. Or we're going to act. It's not time to be silent, everybody. Not time to be silent. I know they're not going to silence me. I mean, if they got to shoot me, so be it. But I tell you what, everybody, I'm not going to commit suicide. And don't worry, there'll be probably a person or two that's unalive laying right next to me. So they're going to have to make some story up. But yeah, you had to worry about Biden and stuff and his goon squad at 6 a.m. with their no-knock raids. And Trump's such a narcissist. Hell, if he watched one of my videos, he'd be steaming his ass off. Oh, we got to shut him up. I can't handle that. How can that guy say something about like that to me? I'm president of the United States. I'm awesome. He's a piece of shit. Lying piece of shit. Hate to say that, Mega. Don't know what to tell you. If you can sit there and tell me how he's saving the country, name one thing that he's doing. One that he said he was going to do on the campaign trail. Just one. And everybody, immigration. No. He's talking about amnesty for immigrants or illegal immigrants. Ones I got to compete with. He's talking about how warp speed was the best thing ever. Until the truth comes out, the pharmaceutical companies have to release the truth and the data and stuff on all the shenanigans that went on with that. Anyway, like I say, I want the truth to come out. Whatever it takes, people. This Marine's had enough. Okay? This is a series on understanding America. From its people to its Declaration of Independence, when they declared the king saying, and then the screw you, July 4th, no King's Day. No shit, I'm glad the liberals finally figured that out. It's good that they finally figured that July 4th is a no King's Day too. Okay? Sometimes it takes people longer, okay? And they think they're doing smart when they're just... Anyway. But has any politician ever kept their promises? That's why they never vote. Yeah. Was a politician lying when they're talking? I mean, you get to sit there and influence a politician's life once every 2 years or once every 4 years or once every 6 years with your vote. Well, you got lobbyists following them around with pockets full of cash every fucking minute. Every congressperson, senator, and Supreme Court justice has lobbyists. Every single one. Now, explain to me why they need them, but I'm really confused about the Supreme Court justices needing lobbyists. Okay. They're supposed to interpret the law that the Congress people and the lobbyists came up with. So what are you saying? If you got a lobbyist in the Supreme Court, he can convince a justice that to vote a different way, right? All these, especially the judges voting against the Constitution, is voting against the American people and voting for special interests on the backs of the American people, making us the victims. Our government is by billionaires for billionaires. I don't agree with that. I'll tell you why, Strictly Cycling. The billionaires, the millionaires, the rich people that formed this country, they were being oppressed too. But they were also doing it for us. Who had the most to lose if we lost the revolution? The guy in his log cabin out in the woods, who was in a few battles with his musket? Was he the guy that really had to worry about the repercussions of losing? And like I say, they had the money back then. So when England was imposing all these taxes and stuff, it was hurting the rich guy. And that's why the rich guy was pissed. And they formed, and the citizens, the founding citizens, were able to follow the founding fathers and create a nation. But see, we ain't got that now. Now a rich guy gets in trouble, they just go to their congressman and they print more money and they're never going to hurt. So we're not going to get the rich people in there unless they're extremely patriotic and they're willing to put their life and their fortune on the line. Okay? But too many people are obsessed with money. Okay? They ain't going to put any of their fortune on the line to maybe make it so their kids or their grandkids can live in a free world. So that's just the way I feel about that. Tom, here and now, today we have socialism for the super wealthy in exchange for the $3.5 trillion, tax cuts for the, yeah. This is what I'm saying. The government is not supposed to adjust taxes for this. If we got rid of the IRS, all that shit would go away. See the tool they get to use? See how they use the tax code to sit there and control people? Get rid of the IRS. There goes that control. Simple as that. End of story. Downsides, like I said, get rid of the IRS. God, if we didn't have to pay income tax, how easy that would make your life. That would mean that almost some people would never, ever have to deal with the government. Please roll a blunt. You can go ahead and do it, buddy. Go ahead and smoke out, right? Get good and screwed up because we got a whole world of hurt going on, whatever it takes for you to get through. But I will say it's natural, okay? I'd rather see people do that than take these pharmaceuticals and shove them down their goddamn throat. You know, maybe God put that plan on this earth for a reason. Anyway, but all I would like about him is I'd love to have a house made out of him. If I had a house made out of hemp, all the lumber, all the siding, everything, that house would stand for 5,000 years until the foundation rotted off of it. Well, I wonder why we don't use that, huh? Anyway, you seem to have a severe lack of understanding in how the world you had. Oh, okay. Maybe I do have an understanding. Maybe my travels in the Marine Corps when I saw 11 different countries in my first year and a half, circled the globe, and talked to many different cultures. Maybe as a Marine traveling the world, I always got to see the worst parts of it. Try again, though, sir. Like I say, these people that want to make these snide comments, they really, really, really need to watch my other content before they write something stupid and then answer their question and then come back here and try to be an adult and have an adult conversation. But these are the people that need the government because the government makes things fair. You know how the government makes things fair for them? They make it unequal for me. So anyway, yep, if you need the government to make things fair, people aren't equal. And you obviously don't have no ambition or drive. If you need the government to come in your life and say, oh, can you make it so I can have a place to live? Because I'm too lazy, I don't want to work. But, I'm entitled because I'm breathing. So I'm entitled. Don't worry about that homeless fat. He don't deserve shit. Okay, you need to take care of me and my 8 children. Okay, I need $4,000 a month in food stamps, Section 8 housing and stuff because I can't work. It's a taxpayer's responsibility to do it because I'm a victim. I'm a victim of them. I'm a victim of Whitey. Anyway, this is the world we live in, folks. Yeah, I'm very self-reliant. It gives you an extra feeling of security when you don't have to depend on another human being to exist. All right. Anyway. Oh, I've been going for an hour. Well, I'm gonna get off of here. Like I say, this is over 2 hours of live streaming today. But check out my live stream from this morning, Strictly Cycling. Woo! Was I pissed? Was I pissed? Anyway, but how's a Marine supposed to get? Anyway, I thank everybody for being here. Please hit that thumbs up, to subscribe, and the bell notification. Help the channel grow because I'm definitely trying to get the word out. All right. I don't matter what your political affiliation is, what you do in your bedroom, just keep it in there. You know, Americans need to come together because they're going to get us in a situation once where we can't fight back. It's Tom Security Jeff and everybody in the chat. Have a good night. Yep, see you. Strictly Cycling. Be safe. Okay? Like I say, always thinking of you in that New York. Anyway. So, anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. I'll be live again tomorrow night about 7:30 Mountain Time. And I don't know what the discussion's going to be on yet. I'll see what the news is. But anyway, things are getting crazy, people. I can see it. And if people living in the city that are dealing with this stuff every day, all the stresses that society's putting on you, in the government, and just, your family life, I guess you guys are getting pretty tough. So, anyway, that's all I got for this evening. Everybody have a great night. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.